Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an ancient story that feels, well, surprisingly modern. It's a story about a society collapsing under its own weight and the incredible vision of what it takes to rebuild from the ashes. Let's get into it.
So we're not easing into this one. We're starting with this absolutely stark warning from the prophet Zephaniah. This isn't just a bad day he's talking about. It's a vision of a world completely coming apart at the seams. This is the ground zero for everything that's about to unfold.
But you gotta ask, right? Why such a grim forecast? To really get the message of hope that comes later, we have to first wrap our heads around what went so terribly wrong. The prophecies actually give us a really detailed diagnosis of a society that was basically rotting from the inside out.
At the heart of the problem is this fantastic phrase, settled on their lees. It's actually a winemaking term. It's for wine that's been left on its sediment for so long it gets thick and stagnant. Here, it's this powerful metaphor for an elite class that's just grown fat, lazy, and totally indifferent, convinced that nothing they do really matters.
And look, this wasn't just a case of a few bad apples. The text paints this picture of a rot that's gone systemic. The princes, the rulers, are like predatory lions. The judges, ravenous wolves. Even the spiritual leaders, the prophets and priests, are corrupt and treacherous. The entire system, top to bottom, was broken.
And this is really the heart of the issue. When leadership fails that badly, the whole society just starts to crumble. The text says, the city received not correction. When you have zero accountability, zero shame, well, you're basically setting the stage for disaster. So, what happens next? Well, that disaster gets a name, the Day of the Lord. And this isn't just described as some simple punishment. No, this is an all-consuming, world-changing event that's going to completely wipe the slate clean.
And the imagery here, it's just wild. It's meant to make you feel that total chaos and panic. It's alarms blaring against the strongest cities and the highest towers, all those symbols of human power just becoming completely useless.
What this is painting a picture of is a complete societal breakdown. The imagery is brutal, blood poured out like it's nothing more than dust. Human life is treated as worthless. It's just total desolation. And get this, when this day comes, your money can't save you. The prophecy is crystal clear. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them. The fire of this collapse is going to consume everything, and it doesn't care how rich or powerful you are.
But then, right when things seem completely hopeless, the whole story just pivots, hard. Out of all that destruction, we get these strange, really symbolic visions from the prophet Zechariah, and they signal that this isn't just an ending, it's more like a violent reset, a new beginning.
And the way this process is shown is just brilliant. First up, leadership gets purified. The high priest is literally stripped of his dirty clothes, a symbol for sin, and given fresh, clean ones. Then the systemic evil itself, personified as a woman named Wickedness, gets packed into a box and shipped away. And finally, the rebuilding can start, with his vision of a new Jerusalem so vibrant it can't even be contained by walls.
And through all of this, there's one message that comes through loud and clear. This incredible renewal, it's not going to be built by military strength or political maneuvering. Nope, this has to be powered by something else entirely, a spiritual force that's going to rebuild society from the inside out.
Okay, so after all that fire and purification, what's left? Well, the prophecy gives us this incredibly detailed and honestly beautiful vision of what this new, restored society is actually going to look like.
Just look at this. It's a total reversal of everything that went wrong before. Houses that were desolate are now safe. A day of darkness and gloom gives way to evening light. A nation that was an outcast becomes honored. It's a picture of complete and utter transformation.
And you know what's really telling? The vision zeroes in on the simplest things. The real sign of success here isn't about riches or military might. It's about creating a society so safe and peaceful that the elderly can relax without fear, and kids can just play in the streets again.
But here's the thing. This kind of peace doesn't just happen. The text is very clear that this new society has to be built on a radical new ethical foundation. So this isn't some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's basically a user's manual for building a better society and a direct cure for the corruption we saw earlier.
And it all builds to this. The final vision is about the arrival of a totally new kind of leader, someone who is the living embodiment of all the values of this restored kingdom. And this image, wow, it's so powerful. The king who is promised doesn't show up on a war horse like a conqueror. He arrives in total humility, riding a donkey,
the animal of peace, of ordinary people. His power isn't about domination. It's about justice and salvation.
So his whole job is to literally take apart the war machine. The chariots, the battle bows, the cutting-edge military tech of the time, they're all going to be dismantled. He's not there to conquer anyone. He's there to speak peace to all nations, to build a kingdom based on nonviolence.
And this last detail, it's my favorite. It's just incredible. In this restored world, the line between what's sacred and what's everyday just vanishes. Think about it. Something as ordinary as the little bells on a horse's harness is now considered holy. Everything, every part of life is sacred.
So when you put it all together, this incredible journey from total collapse to restoration, it really leaves us with a kind of blueprint. It suggests that real, lasting renewal means you have to confront corruption head-on, commit to a new foundation of justice and compassion, and follow a leader defined by humility, not by might. It's an ancient vision for sure, but man, it asks a question that feels as relevant today as it must have back then.